Good evening, Vananda. We welcome you to the international webinar series on holistic health, well-being, and sustainable development 2022, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav celebrations. Nation celebrating 75 years of independence and the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals (SDGs) 2015 to 2030 as part of awareness and campaigns in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India, Sri Research Institute, Center for Art, Sciences and Wellbeing. Before we start our sessions, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
Kurutvang kalyanam arogyam dhanasampadah Shubham kurutvang kalyanam arogyam dhanasampadah Shatrubuddhi vinashaya Deepajyotirnamostute Deepajyotirnamostute Shubham kurutvang kalyanam arogyam dhanasampadah Shubham kurutvang kalyanam arogyam dhanasampadah
The blessings of Almighty, we shall continue to today's commemorations. Today is a New Year Eve. Basically, it is in the Western context, but due to a lot of commercial importance given, as we have seen, lot of business, because these kind of events are mostly promoted for promoting business and e-commerce and commerce trade. So this is also widely, promoted by business houses to make huge profits and sales, especially. We see that a lot of liquor and drugs, whether official or unofficial, or in various, lot of drugs are made available, and we see even enforcement agencies are also have their vigilance on these days, and we see almost large amount of drugs are also seized before and after, and we see lots of cases also of drug abuse and drug consumption to keep themselves high on partying, dancing, and a lot of these New Year Eve activities. So even at times it is also known as a Drinkers' Day and Druggers' Day also. This day, December 31st and 1st January, unfortunately. And we know there is no single benefit from either alcohol, either drugs or tobacco consumption or smoking. It kills a lot of people, not only the one who consumes it, but also through passive smoking, it kills your loved ones. So this year, at least those who have the habit of taking resolutions or have the practice of making resolutions, please take resolution that you do not contribute to the carbon dioxide emission and other, at least if you don't care for your health, you care for your family members or you care for your society. Again, a question comes, if you don't care for your own health, why you will care for others? Yeah, that is also one other concern. So all these, because we have come to last day of the English calendar year. So now I think you all have made resolutions, and yesterday we also celebrated this planning day for resolution, New Year resolutions. And from tomorrow, the entire week is commemorated as New Year Resolutions Week. So now those who have already finalized their resolutions, now be ready to implement them from tomorrow. And those who haven't yet, still there is some few hours, couple of hours left. You can take a resolution. Otherwise, also nothing. It's never. It's better late than never. So you can take even resolutions in the first week also, as January first week is also termed as or commemorated as New Year Resolutions Week. So you can take guidance. If you are not able to take on your own, you can consult your friends or your family members, your relatives, anyone, to help you to take resolutions and reflect upon your past or the present year and learn from it, and what are your aspirations and achievements. Accordingly, you can plan and take resolutions, so that you can try to set goals and try to achieve them. We may ask why we need to take a resolution. Of course, it might not be necessary, or may not be necessary in its first place. Those who have already set their goals, they have already aimed at something. See, why we need to, in the very first place, why we need to set a goal? Because if we don't have a goal, we will not have a motivation to thrive, motivation to excel, motivation to achieve. So what if there is no purpose? Then we don't know what to do. Say, suppose today you have nothing to do. So what you will do? You got up today. Say tomorrow you have nothing to do. You got up tomorrow morning. So whole day you have nothing to do. Whole week you have nothing to do. Whole month you have nothing to do. Whole year you have nothing to do. Now what is that you are going to do? That's why we need to do something. And it should be productive, constructive, so that it is useful to you as well as to the society and nation and world at large. So to utilize ourselves and our resources, our time and various resources, monetary or non-monetary resources, we have to set certain goals, either short term, long term. It may be for ourselves or it may be for others, so that we can keep working on it and we can monitor them, evaluate them, and if required, if we can make changes and keep moving forward. So that is why we need to set certain goals and we need to work, so that as we keep on achieving those goals, it gives us motivation, it gives us confidence, it gives us satisfaction, and we can set another goal and so on. So life is about all, having to aim something, achieve or something. So every day is a new year, every day is a new day, every day is a new life. For those who understand the philosophy of life, every morning when you get up, it's a new opportunity for everyone to do something better. And every night you go to sleep, and so you might consider that as even end of the day or end of your life also, for that matter. And again you are morning waking up, so it's a new day. You need not wait for another rebirth to happen. We can consider a day as a very great opportunity for you to correct yourself, to change yourself. If you think that you need a change, or if you want to have a better life than what you have or what you were having. So this day is an opportunity, not this day, every day is an opportunity to change ourselves for the betterment of ourselves and for the society and nation at large. So that's why setting a goal or aspiring for something is necessary. You can be simple, at the same time have certain goals and make certain resolutions by doing SWOT analysis, like analyzing our time, resources, our skill sets, and then our strengths and weakness, and various threats or challenges or opportunities. Being realistic, and we can move forward, keep motivating ourselves. So that is very important to move forward. Otherwise, we'll be like a directionless. We don't know where to go, what to do, and that will create an unwanted problems or unwanted situations which never exist in the first place. Like, as there is a saying that empty human's devil is empty human beings brain is devil's paradise. So similarly, if we have nothing to do, then we'll do the crazy things that will end up into problems. So always have some productive tasks to be done so that you can keep aiming and achieving the goal. And New Year Eve comes but once in a year on December 31st, the last day on the last month of what usually feels like the longest year ever, but somehow pass too quickly. Most of us give little thought as to why we ceremoniously say goodbye to one year and hello to new one on December 31st, the English calendar year. So even those who don't make any special plans to greet arrival of New Year at the stroke of midnight on 31st, which may not be culturally appropriate to many across the world, but paying homage to the right with the thoughts of the English New Year, gone by the hopes for the year to come. So there are a lot of mixed feelings on this day. It gives us opportunity to reflect on the past year with its highs and lows, but we also get ready to the party our way into the new year. So here's to a new day, new year, new beginnings. And it also marks the final day of what is called Gregorian calendar or English calendar. So prior to the adoption of Gregorian calendar as a global standard, most of the ancient world ran on different and diverse calendaring systems to track the passage of time. So the Gregorian calendar, already we spoken about how this January 1st has been considered, which is used widely today, was introduced by the Vatican in Rome under Pope Gregory 13 in October 1582. Again, there are different stories and different dates subject to different sources. And the Gregorian calendar is based on the solar year and replaced an ancient Roman calendar that was based on lunar cycle of the Earth's moon. And the Gregorian calendar is a modified version of the Julian calendar that was introduced by Roman Emperor Julius Caesar during his reign around 44 BC at the suggestion of Greek astronomer and mathematician Sosigenes of Alexandria. So the transition from a lunar calendar to a solar year calendar on October 4th, 1582 necessitated that a few days be eliminated, and the day after October 4th 1582 was therefore declared by the Pope Gregory to be October 15th, 1582. And don't ask what happened to all those poor souls whose birthdays were on October 5 to 14. So as I already mentioned, there are a lot of uh, things that has happened, crazy minds and crazy people have done. So we'll not get into all those stupid and nonsense things that happen. And people are following who themselves call as scientists or intellectuals. And they themselves do not have answers to these. Of course, they have their own explanations, logic, rational, but doesn't stand good only to have some, explanation. But anyway, that's a different story. We are not getting into that. Along with the implementation of a new calendar on 4th, 1582, the Pope also decreed that each year would officially begin on January 1st instead of April 1st, as has been the custom under the old lunar system. So basically, this new year is basically a Christian. We can say it's not an. It's also a kind of religious festival, but it is celebrated. It is portrayed as a neutral, but they even we call as New Year Eve, like Christmas Eve, right? So since then, it is celebrated as New Year by the Christian or Christian community. But slowly, because um, everyone is following, and that calendar has been used because they are in large population, and many countries have official religion as Christianity, and for the convenience sake, everyone started adopting it and using. Of course, it is not a truly reflection of the time measurement because it has own its there are a lot of its own disadvantages or lacune for the measurement of time or days. But anyway, because they do not have any solution by themselves, so there is nothing they can do to because they don't have a better solution, so they are going with that solution. But in Hinduism, we have a perfect calendar, or even before Hinduism arose, we all were together as part of Sanatana Dharma. Only after religions came, we all were divided under religions. But before these religions emerged, we were all under the roof of Sanatana Dharma, and we had very accurate time to the fraction of second. So we still follow, and as per that, the new year, that by the nature itself, the new year which comes by nature itself is falls in March or April. Earlier also, it was on March, April, but due to various vested interest and other reasons, it has been changed to January 1st. And since then, it has been custom under the old lunar calendar. The decision had no actual astronomical or scientific basis. So it was purely by some community they have decided, and they have been followed. There is no scientific basis, there is no astronomical basis, and there is no significance also by nature or anything. So it was influenced by the ancient feast celebrating the Roman god Janus and the god of doorways and beginnings. The 1st of January seemed like a good starting over a point of a new calendar. So that's how this January 1st became New Year. Of course, there are a lot of interesting stories. Maybe at some time I will share, or maybe you can also come with certain presentations on how these calendars emerged and whether there is really a significance in it. Of course, as I already said, every religion, every belief system, they have their own stories which support them, because people have to believe them, those who are following it. So, I mean, it's a kind of different ideologies. Everyone wants to take it forward. So there are a lot of gaps that they have filled up with many things. Again, we are not getting into all those things, but if we ourselves think there is, everyone knows about it. It's an open secret. But only thing is, they will not talk about it because of these cognitive distortions, because they don't want their illusions to be destroyed by themselves. So these cognitive distortions will keep working 24 by 7 by 365 days. So this will not allow them to talk or explore further about it. And neither their belief system supports them. So that's how New Year Eve is widely celebrated by those who follow Gregorian calendar. But not all people ring in the New Year the same way or in same cases or even same day. As China has its own Chinese New Year, and Cambodia also has its Cambodian New Year in between April 13 to 15. Sri Lankan has its New Year on April 13, and Western Australia, they have New Year on October 30. Chinese have somewhere in between January 21st and February 20, based on Chinese calendar. And India, we have somewhere around March and April. And some communities also consider Diwali as New Year. And financial year and academic year is again March and April. So again, it is somewhere June. So as per our convenience, we have been changing. And similar ways, different cultures, different religions have their own New Year. Basically, this we can say is based on the Gregorian calendar, and it is mostly a Christian New Year, or in fact, an English New Year or a Gregorian New Year. So on this New Year Eve, it is a sign of relief that year is over, or marvel at how it went in a flash. And it is celebrated in a different way by, New Year Eve fireworks that are contributing to the pollution and greenhouse gas emissions. That is a huge pollution today, and tomorrow that is going to happen. But unfortunately, we keep talk of all these scientists will go dead this whole night, and they have nothing to say about this, and lot of energy being wasted this whole day, entire year, whole night. And no one talks about all these energy conservationists will go dead on the entire day and night. They have nothing to say today, and they will all wake up tomorrow again, keep talking, lecturing on energy conservation, pollution, and everything. It's very saddest part. But even though they didn't have any answers or rationale for that, because these are the with their own agenda set on what they have to speak, on what they should not speak or they cannot speak. So these are hidden agendas which they have. That's why we said, not everyone is alike to their own this thing. So not everyone respond to everything in the same manner based on their ideologies, based on certain events are just ignored, and they suddenly wake up on certain day, certain event, certain commemoration, certain occasion. Then they remember that this is pollution, something happening. But this is like we are catching the rat, but the entire huge issue of elephant like issue, we are leaving it. And these are the, which are, celebrated across the world. And we just ignore. And when certain small community, it's all small place is doing something, there is a huge sky across the world. This is what we say, uh, have a bent, slanted opinions on certain communities. There is a huge cry that they are doing that and this. But what about this? Again, they will go numb or dead on these things. So, as an intellectual, as an educated, as a person with wisdom, we all should equally treat all these things. If you are truly scientific when you talk about purely science, even under this umbrella term of science you are talking, then equally, if this day, if fireworks are really creating a pollution, then this day also it creates a huge pollution, then why no one talks about it? You know? So all these things are there. Anyway, we are not getting into all these politics because, as already been said, everyone has their own agendas and they want to do only talk on their own thing. So that's why there is no truth. Always truth is not absolute because, truth is absolute when it is same everywhere, every time. But it's not so. And the varies from person to person, situation to situation, time and time, based on their own interest, ideologies, belief systems, or religious systems. So some support, some do not support, some are against, some are in favor. So it should not be like that. If fireworks are really causing, then no matter what the celebration is, it should be banned. It should be talked about. But unfortunately, that doesn't happen. So for what? For which occasions it is happening, for which occasions it is not happening, why it is not happening. If you do research, you will know what is the hidden agenda behind that. So that reveals their hidden agenda behind such things. So anyway, if you are wise enough to find out by yourself, you will know what is the hidden agenda behind that. Anyway, that we are not getting into that thing. So we have a lot of offers, nothing much on to talk about this. Even a lot of accidents keep happening and a lot of liquor sale happening. So huge revenue for those who produce liquor, drugs, cigarettes, and all. Those are creating a huge population. Being affected by pollution and excessive drug abuse, and so on. So we can also celebrate this in a positive note, leaving everything. There is nothing wrong in celebrating any day. For that matter, we are also commemorating so many days. Even we are not celebrating them, we are talking about them because we are appreciating the cultural diversity. At the same time, when we are expecting, when we have little bit expectation that they also respect us, they also respect our culture, traditions. It's not that we respect and they don't respect. When we are respecting, then it is their, culture and traditions, and their ethics and morals should teach them the code of conduct. That because as a human beings living together, we have to respect each other. It's not that we respect them and they do not respect us, or it should not be like so. So a similar way, as we are appreciating the rich diversity across the world, so we all need to have a exchange of dialogue or communication between different cultures or diverse cultures and traditions. So similarly, we are also commemorating. So this new year, let's welcome with a positive hope, no matter what new year it is. So we are broad-minded. We are open-minded. So we welcome everyone. Not everyone is broad-minded. Not everyone is secular. So they have their own reservations. They have their own agenda. So they might not be happy. They might not even wish for other, events or occasions. But that's all up to them. So we cannot do something. We cannot keep on changing everyone, and that is not practically possible. So their principles or their belief system should reflect not just to the preaching but also to the practice. So when we are truly celebrating an occasion, it should not create any pollution. It should not be harmful to anyone. It should be eco-friendly. It should be natural. It should be sustainable. So let's celebrate whoever is celebrating. And anyway, midnight 12 is not a not a good time to eat or drink in any way. So even scientific, we have a biological clock, and no one feels hungry at 12 o'clock in the midnight. And generally it is associated with devils and all the evil forces. It is wide popular in all religions that those evil forces and these devils, ghosts come and eat at midnight 12. So, so are we all becoming the ghosts and devils in the today, midnight, having consuming something or eating something? Are we joining those, those parties with them? So we have to think over. Anyway, that's up to individual interest. Whether you go with it, whether you don't go it, I have nothing to do with. But just it's a thought that struck my mind. So we all have to reflect on it. There's nothing wrong. If someone wants to celebrate, fine. If someone doesn't want to celebrate, that's also fine. But just a thought that is being shared to ponder. And you can have morning or those who are not celebrating, fine, in the midnight. There is an alternative of morning getting up, and many even other religions also follow because it has been more or less popular. So even other religious people also, or non-religious people also follow, visit their favorite temples or mosques or churches or gurudwaras or temples, whatever it is. Or those who are who doesn't believe in God also, they do whatever work on this New Year day. So it's not about starting in a grand manner or in a great manner. It's always consistency. So always, it's not about the amount or the quantity, but it's all about consistency. Doing it daily, regularly, so that we do not miss it. Occasionally, okay, things at certain days, it's okay. Occasionally, if there is something else, some other priority is there, and there is no one to take up backup at that moment, it's fine. Otherwise, consistency is what keeps us moving towards success. So these consistent practices that keeps us moving. And again, there is also a belief that firecrackers and noisemakers became tradition in order to scare away evil spirits. Again, science doesn't believe in evil spirits, and most of these scientists, what they have to say, they have nothing to say. Maybe because I don't see any much debates, or especially when other occasions there are huge debates even in media across. But unfortunately, I don't see much talk or discussions or debates that are happening on these days. Why? What happens to these communities? Where are these people? Where they are? What they are doing? Only God knows. So that is what today's New Year. And even in uh, Scotland also, they have something like Hogmanay, meaning the last day of the year. And today, because it is the last day, we also have Make Up Your Mind Day. That is also US because it's the last day, and already you might have decided or deciding on some important resolutions for the coming year. It's a day to encourage people to review their goals, achievements, and progress, then come up with their better strategies to achieve them in the new year by formally making a set of resolutions on this day. People are more likely to stay committed to them throughout the year. So, in recent times, instead of making any major spiritual promises to God, people make small life decisions on New Year Eve to make positive changes in their overall personalities. In a recent research study, it was revealed that out of 45% of Americans that make resolutions, only 8% not reneged. Nevertheless, make up your mind is still a great day or a way to learn about your past decisions and become a better decision maker. Have fun while making some of the biggest life changing decisions. So today is also National Champagne Day for those who drink sipping on bubbly beverage. Yeah, that's why it is synonymally called as Drinkers Day or Drunkers Day, whatever it is. And today is also No Interruptions Day and Restoration Day in Geneva, that the freedom struggle. And today is also Unlucky Day and also World Peace Meditation Day. So No Interruption Day is all about people learning to redirect their focus towards completing their tasks and being more mindful about their actions. So these devices, especially electronic intrusion of electronic gadgets and devices in workplace or personal at homes, are notorious for being distracting and for preventing people from focusing on their tasks because we are addicted to these gadgets and a lot of time is getting wasted. In early 1920s, Russian psychologist Bluma Zygarnik proposed a theory on the psychological effects of interruptions at work. According to the theory, people are more likely to remember incomplete or interrupted tasks better than completed ones. While dining at a restaurant, Zygarnik observed that the waiters working there were able to remember of pending orders better than those who have completed and served to the customers. Similarly, another researcher, Mary, Maria, proposed uh, the Ovisian Kina effect, which posits that people have a strong desire to return to an interrupted task or project until it's complete. So during 1940s, the adverse effects of interruptions in the aviation industry was highlighted by psychologists Paul Fitts and Richard Jones. In their research, it was revealed that interruptions were one of the major reasons for pilot errors and accidents. Since the 1990s, some of the main causes of interruptions for office employees have been emails and phone calls. So, in a research study conducted by Gloria Mark on the adverse effect of technologies at the workplace, it was revealed that employees, once distracted, usually requires 30 minutes or more to resume an interrupted task. That's why try to minimize calls, no, unless and until it is necessary, do not keep calling. Most of the instructions have been already provided or already been mailed to you at the time of joining or at the time whenever there's something is announced, something is notified, all details might be already provided. So instead of calling and wasting your time and their time, You can go through it completely and understand it. In case of any clarification, you can call them, whoever it may be. That will save your time and resources and their time and resources. And again, if lot of distraction, if some good argument or discussion goes on, which takes your or that person mood off, then again, it will take time for that person or for you also to get back to normal. And common examples of workplace interruptions include email and SMS notifications received in the middle of fast-paced tasks like typing or evaluating search results or receiving and answering notifications interrupt the task performance of employees, and it is usually difficult to recover full attention to the task or activity at hand. So in 2000, a book was published in 2000, and the title was The Power of Focus, discusses the 4 Ds of time management. In 2016, researchers at the University of California, Irvine, published findings of their groundbreaking research on workplace interruption, showing that workers are interrupted every 11 minutes and resume their interrupted task only after 25 minutes. So every time you interrupt someone, so you are wasting 30 minutes of their valuable time. So 2016, a 2016 survey declares smartphones as the biggest workplace distraction, and the smartphones became the top distraction for the employees. And Udemy in 2018 releases Workplace Distraction Report, a detailed report on workplace distraction, which was released in 2018 by Udemy, an online learning and teaching marketplace. You can go through it. So how does one deal with interruptions at workplace? The simple steps like schedule the time you would respond to messages at work and adhere strictly to it. Do not keep checking every time. Whenever the notification comes, you put some time and keep checking unless and until you are expecting something important. Avoid multitasking. Focus on one task at a time. When it is a very important task or a crucial task, avoid self-imposed distractions. And various work interruptions include loud conversations between co-workers or buzzing sounds of online notifications, unannounced meetings, or phone calls that interrupt one's workflow and productivity. So interruption reduces the outcome of one's work performance. It also decreases the quantity of work one perform per time. So go for digital detox, put the phone to do not disturb, avoid unnecessary texting and online browsing. Try to stay away from those things that can distract you at work. Organize your emails, delete old and unnecessary emails to free up your space in inbox. And also update your work calendar. Get rid of old paperwork that is lying around on the desk. Throw away old pens, markers, or any other office station that you don't use anymore, or you can share with them others who may require it. And many organizations offer free online training to their employees to update their time management skills. The training is usually given through pre-recorded sessions or sometimes live sessions as well, with a pre-recorded videos or a recorded videos available at later date. So catch up on all these training sessions you have left because of no time. And employees are most productive between 9 a.m. and 12 noon. So this is a maximum productivity time. So make use of this time and try to avoid any kind of distractions. And there are various hazards of multitasking. Of course, there are various benefits, but at the same time, not everyone can manage it efficiently. And at times it can be various hazards like productivity levels drops by nearly 40% when employees try to do multitask and are not able to manage or multitask effectively. And employees waste 90 minutes per day looking for stuff on a messy desk. So that is a pitfall of poor desk management. That's why maybe whatever, if we don't require anything, it's for our benefit that we discard or dispose them or give away, because by holding them we will be occupying our space, and we'll be, it's all the clutter around, and you have to clean everything. If not you, someone else has to clean it, and it will occupy some space, and it will also keep distracting you. Whenever you see that there is something in your mind that why you have kept there, or maybe there is something pending over there, and all those things. So these are various things that, so always try to keep clean, organized desk. That will save your money also, and time, resources also. And sometimes, suddenly you try to move something and everything falls down or somewhere get displaced. And again, for arranging it will take again some more time and resources. So it's always better to have a very good desk management. And 80% of the Americans dread going to work on Mondays. So Monday blues, we see, Saturday, Sunday, we feel happy. And once Monday comes, oh my God, again we have to go to work. Not with everyone, yes, but this Monday blues is also a widely known concept. And daydreaming is also another distraction. 9 out of 10 employees daydream in office meetings and office timings. So this is also one of the distraction. Try to avoid it, prevent it. And constant interruptions at work can affect the work and overall performance of employees in any organization. So HR managers need to identify the causes of workplace interruptions as well as the employees also in organization. And it is a great way today to create awareness, or for that matter, any day, about the negative effects of disturbances or distractions in a workplace. So this day encourages HR professionals and managers to identify the causes of interruptions in their organizations and develop effective strategies to reduce it. It also promotes workplace discipline. Sometimes colleagues of team members unwittingly become distractions, and shutting them off may hurt your feelings. And interns and freshers often do not know how to behave and may become nuisance in the workplace. So it is a great way to explain the adverse effects of interruptions at workplace so that those who completely unaware of it can learn it. And this is a rare opportunity to complete pending tasks. One can make the most of this day by attending to the backlogs. Finishing due work not only gives personal satisfaction, it also allows you to start afresh and plan out new projects and assignments. So with this, we shall conclude the commemoration. And we have another commemoration, Unlucky Day, that is also in US. It is a day for you to turn your bad luck into luck by forgetting your misfortunes. If you felt unlucky this year, then this is a perfect day to move on from the unfavorable and pessimistic events that happened. This day is your last attempt at turning the year around and entering the new year with a positive mindset. Put some positive pants on, learn about wonderful day. And it's time to forget about the bad things that has happened throughout the year or at times in this year. And it is a day to shed, unburden, forget all these things we did not want to happen. It is a day to remind ourselves that the year is about to come to an end, and it is an indication that it was probably a bad season or even a bad year, but it's definitely not a bad life. Unlucky days is the last day to get all the reluctance and uncertainty out of our lives and recognize the next year is full of ambition, anticipation, hope, and promise. This is why we create plans and goals that are achievable for the year to come. It's not bad that this day is considered unlucky, since things will fall into the place for the succeeding days to come. Whether you believe in luck or not, do not give up. When it seems like you are faced with trials and challenges, you can always choose to move forward and bring your A game for the upcoming year. So anything can happen if you strive for it. So whether it be luck or your own doing or by the grace of God, what matters is that you keep looking ahead to what is to come. The day also reminds everyone that life goes on, whether good or bad. So this day looks forward to is in store for the future and allows the negativity to stay in the past. So next year will contain prosperity, health, and happiness if you believe it. So we have other unluckiest, like today is unluckiest day. We have a whole month as unluckiest month, that is June, is seen as a month with worst luck in some like US and others counterparts. And January 28th is the full moon of the year, but it is also the luckiest day of the year, which is widely believed to do so. And how do you calculate your lucky number? And based on one practice, it is your date of birth and the numerology number of your name. Again, for those who believe in that. And let's go off past, write down all the negative things that have happened to you throughout the year. After you have written them all down, throw the notes away or burn the notes away. This will allow you to vent your emotions, process your emotions, and accept what has transpired. Understand that everything happens for a reason and for a good, and whether it is a positive or negative, know that life would not be what it is today. So if certain events did not occur, so always be positive, optimistic, constructive, and productive. Continue to believe in future. What is the point of a new year if you do not believe that great things are about to happen? Tell yourself what you have planned and desired will finally happen this year. And as this is unlucky day, and what are those things that are seen as bad luck? The black cat, it has become a symbol of bad luck because it was believed that witches transformed into black cats. We have also seen this commemoration on one day where how it got associated with witches because it was a statement made by one of the popes earlier that unfortunately the poor cats, black cats, had to face this for their lifelong to come over. And a broken mirror, it is also believed that breaking a mirror results in 7 years of bad luck, or that's why people are also not suggested to use the broken mirrors. Of course, there are different beliefs, and opening an umbrella indoors is avoided as it is believed to bring bad luck. And again, for centuries together, it has been believed that if you spill salt you should throw some over your shoulder to avoid negative consequences. And it is a bad luck to walk underneath a ladder. So these are few beliefs which are these things which are believed to be bringing bad luck. And this day, it allows you to move forward. It prompts us to stop focusing on all bad times and instead of think of positive things. It is important to know that we can easily shake this off and move on. It reminds us that we can always be better versions of ourselves and we need to learn to accept our mistakes and change for the better. It gives us peace of mind that things can only go up there. There is always be unlucky days, but do not forget about lucky days that will come as. And today is also World Peace Meditation Day, the final commemoration for the day. So every year, World Peace Meditation Day is held on December 31st as the whole world contemplates the start of new year. It bears the promise of ushering in a new era, peaceful relations in world by making more mindful of concepts like control and personal development. It is commonly known that when people are at peace with themselves, they are more likely to seek out and build relationships, beautiful, peaceful relationships in their community and country. Even in those parts of the world that are affected by war, meditation can help those affected by violence to overcome their loss and avoid being negatively affected by the events taking place around them. And the aim of World Peace Meditation Day is to unite all people or people of all different races and backgrounds on a global platform. So this World Peace Meditation Day also promotes diversity and peace through meditation and collaborating with people of different religions that ultimately helps us to establish world peace and prevent war and violence. Over the years, researchers and social scientists have conducted various studies and experiments to determine the causes of war to develop preventive measures. In the 1980s, a social experiment was conducted in Jerusalem to check if practicing meditation could promote peace. More than 1,000 people took part in the experiment, and the participants were asked to practice meditation in groups, and the experiment was a success. During this experiment, peace and tolerance were evident with reduced amounts of street crime and violence in all major cities of Lebanon. Similarly, researchers noticed that those groups of people that practiced meditation remained calm and relaxed, and they were less likely to get affected by those adverse effects of the war in the country. So, World Peace Meditation Day is celebrated by different nations with different names. Some people call it as World Healing Day, while some celebrate it as Universal Hour of Peace. And different types of meditative exercises are practiced to evoke feelings of peace and harmony in people. Over the years, researchers have conducted various studies which reveal that meditation has various positive effects on our physical and emotional health. So, celebrating World Peace Meditation Day has helped people stay positive, making it easier for different generations to deal constructively with social and religious diversity. So, the organization to promote peace, the United Nations, is formed after the Second World War to promote peace in 1945. And the first Global Peace Index, the Institute of Economics and Peace, launches the first GPI report, which covers more than 150 independent states in 2009. So numerous studies suggest that those people who practice meditation are less likely to become involved in destructive or unethical activities. So meditating for world peace works. And there are various benefits of meditation. Meditation helps people manage stress and control their negative feelings. It makes people calm, tolerant, and increases clarity and focus. So attend a yoga class. The concept of meditation has been extremely popular in recent years. Stress is unavoidable in today's fast-paced lifestyle, and yoga classes can help people relax, unwind, and regenerate. The main purpose of practicing yoga and meditation is to make yourself mentally and physically strong. It teaches you how to reconnect with your inner soul, achieve mental strength, and avoid negative emotions and energies. Plan a wellness trip. A yoga retreat can help you to get closer to nature, to experience inner peace and serenity. Yoga retreats are probably one of the best ways to escape from the stress of our daily routines and detox both physically and mentally. One can connect with Mother Nature on a deeper level and practice meditation without distractions. Or when you travel to a new country, you get an opportunity to explore new cultures and traditions. You can also explore the teachings of multiple religions by visiting holy sites and temples belonging to different communities. Moreover, when we travel to a new country, we get a chance to interact with people from different ethnicities, helping us to develop a strong bond of respect and friendship with them. So, more than 8 million troops lost their lives in their First World War, a heavy loss. With the World War One, the US fought on the battlefield for only 7 months in World War One, and more than 10 million letters were delivered to the soldiers every week in World War One through snail mail. And the plastic surgery was used to fix facial surgeries, injuries of sharpened victims uh, in World War One. And the creation of blood banks were also invented during World War One to treat injured soldiers. So this day highlights the negative consequences of war and violence and spread awareness about loss of lives that take place during wars. The destructive nature of the war itself leaves a negative impact on the nations that are part of ongoing wars. The business and industries of such countries have to bear financial losses for years as foreign investors hesitate to invest in countries which with an increased rate of war and violence. And it supports cultural and religious diversity. The main idea behind celebrating this day is to promote peace, harmony, and cultural diversity in society. So it motivates different communities to organize flash mobs in different parts of the city and perform meditation in large groups. And those who don't practice spiritual practices or exercises like yoga and deep breath, getting an opportunity to practice them with their family and friends under the supervision of trained professionals. It also helps to improve mental health of civilians. This day helps us to improve the mental health of those families who have lost their loved ones in armed conflicts. War can leave a strong impact on the lives of those families whose members got injured or lost their lives while fighting on the battlefield. So, this day not only helps to promote peace and harmony, but also helps to improve emotional health of people who are either directly or indirectly affected by the negative consequences of war and violence. So, with this, we shall conclude the commemorations today, and we wish you all happy English New Year and be positive, optimistic, productive about the upcoming new English year and let's try to do some good things which will benefit not only us but also the community at large. So once again, season's greetings to all of you. So kindly quickly fill up the feedback form. It has been raised in the form of polls. So this would be the last session for this calendar year or academic year of Gregorian calendar year thank you everyone for joining us in this year 2022 and being part of this wonderful family as part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav celebrations and international webinar series on holistic health and well-being and sustainable development, and also in as part of awareness and campaigns on United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030. We wish you all once again a happy, joyful, prosperous English New Year, and see you all tomorrow for the international conference. And as already informed, we have shared the registration form and you can perform any activity of your choice. Tomorrow it's a free open platform. If you want to sing, dance, or if you want to share poem, feel free to share and get registered. Time is short. Use this wonderful opportunity to be part and take up some activity in the conference. So all the participants will be given participation certificate. Do share your details so that we can prepare your certificate through registration form and through WhatsApp. So hope you all have the registration form. Otherwise, also I am sharing it in chat box. You can copy it and share, or you can, it has been already shared in the social media channels. You can share it. All are invited to join us tomorrow from 11 o'clock. So we will try to conclude as early as possible based on the number of sessions after everyone gets completed. So thank you once again for joining us. Take care. Good night. Once again, happy English New Year to all of you.